Kevin, Stacy's assistant, informs her that he discreetly entered her in a famous baking competition in the Kingdom of Belgravia a week before Christmas. She initially balls, but after running across her ex-boyfriend and his new fiancé, she decides to accompany Kevin and his daughter Olivia to Belgravia. They had 3 days to unwind and get ready for the competition after they arrived in the Kingdom of Belgravia. Stacy, a reserved woman, had created a timetable for the next 2 days, but Kevin and his daughter Olivia convinced her to abandon the plan and focus instead on having fun. She encounters Brianna, one of her rivals, at the competition theater. As they argue, Brianna purposefully messes up Stacy's clothes. Stacy meets Lady Margaret de Lacourt, Duchess of Montenero, Crown Prince Edward of Belgravia's fiancée, in a dressing room, and the two are astonished by how similar they appear. They quickly become friends and form bonds. They decide to meet up outside the theater. When she goes back to Kevin, she makes the absurd justification that she needs to go buy a new weapon before she can leave the theater. Margaret advises that they trade places for 2 days in order to escape the attention before switching back on the evening of the competition and Margaret and Edward's wedding. At first hesitant, eventually, Stacy agrees, especially after Lady Margaret offers to finance Olivia as a participant in the renowned Belgravia summer ballet program. In order to reduce suspicion, Stacy and Margaret quickly impart information about one another's lives and conduct before splitting up. Margaret, who was now standing, watched as Stacy returned to her house, where she first met Kevin. She talked to them awkwardly before going to bed. Stacy learns more about Margaret's life as the Duchess from Miss Donatelli after they are back at the castle. She is visited by Edward as she is playing dress-up. It turned out that Prince Edward, who was scheduled to travel for work on the 2 days of the transfer, altered his itinerary in order to spend time with his fiancée. The following morning, she ate breakfast with the king and queen before joining Edward on a ride. King George asks his butler, Frank, to keep an eye on her since he believes something is wrong. Olivia notices that Stacy is acting strangely and differently than normal. She immediately finds the switch, but while getting to know Margaret, she helps keep it hidden. Margaret chooses to disregard the written timetable Stacy had created and lets loose while spending time with Kevin and his daughter. More and more concerned about Stacy, the butler Frank tries to keep tabs on her, but Miss Donatelli always gets in the way. Prince Edward invites Stacy to a ball, and the two of them play the piano together. While Margaret falls in love with Kevin and learns that she enjoys leading a regular life, Stacy adjusts to court life and starts falling for Prince Edward. Stacy reads to the children in the shelter while Stacy and Prince Edward are there. She is successful in persuading Prince Edward to purchase Christmas presents for the children living in the shelter. Kevin almost sees Stacy at the toy store, and Prince Edward almost sees Margaret, but Olivia and Miss Donatelli divert their attention. At the refuge, Prince Edward entertained the children by playing the piano. As well as Margaret and Kevin, Stacy's feelings for Prince Edward also became certain. They still switch back as intended despite this. Frank takes pictures of Margaret and Stacy together to demonstrate how they switched places with the Queen. On the day of the competition, Margaret is upset about her impending nuptials to Prince Edward, but she chooses to tell him the truth after speaking briefly with Miss Donatelli. After realizing how much the prince and Stacy love each other, the Queen pretends to be unwell in order to send Edward and Margaret to the competition in her stead. While this is going on, Brianna breaks into the TV station one night and ruins Stacy's mixer. At the competition, Stacy is compelled to mix her ingredients by hand due to Brianna's vandalism. Despite the setback, Stacy and Kevin are declared the winners and receive medals from Lady Margaret and Prince Edward at the competition where their switch is revealed. Stacy leaves when Margaret declares her love for Kevin because she feels out of place in Edward's royal existence. If they are still in love, Edward halts her and makes a proposal, suggesting a Christmas wedding in the following year. Margaret wins the bouquet when Stacy weds Prince Edward and becomes Princess of Belgravia a year later. Please like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.